Shadow and Bone, Season 2, was released about 2 months ago. And we still have not heard news if it will be renewed. I was originally only going to make one Shadow and Bone video, then I found I just had so much more to say. So here we are with the second video. If you missed my first video, I talked about some of my standout moments from Season 2. So if you're interested, you can check it out in the link up here. You can check it out in the link or in the description. This time I want to address what I'm looking forward to for the future of the series and 8 reasons why we need both the Six of Crows spin-off and Shadow and Bone Season 3. It's basically my letter to Netflix asking them to announce them both very soon, please. A brief disclaimer, I have not read the books, so this is all based off of what I've seen in the Netflix series. However, I have heard about certain things that happen in the books that may affect some of the things I'm about to list. Reason number 1. Season 2 just ended with too much of a cliffhanger. You can't leave us there. So much was teased about what's to come in the future. I just can't imagine that being the last we ever see. I'm so eager to see what will happen next for everybody, really. Now that the fold is gone and our main villain or monster for the series has seemingly been taken care of, I would like to see how our heroes face the enemies that have been mostly held at bay up to this point. How their interactions will go with Fjerda, especially with the court heist for Six of Crows. The ice court, but I'm assuming it's related to Fjerda. And Alina mentioned something about Shuhan, so I'm curious to see what kind of interactions would come from that. As far as I know, Shuhan is still an enemy of Ravka, but we haven't seen any hostile relations with them up to this point. Direct hostile relations with them. Not like we have with Fjerda. But also, what kind of havoc will come from this new drug? It looks terrifying. And it's really bad on Grisha, and you know what? We know a few Grisha, okay? I feel like it could affect some of our characters, some of our beloved characters, and it sounds horrible, but I want that drama. I want to see what would happen from that. Reason number 2. By having both a Six of Crows spin-off and Shadow and Bone Season 3, it would give us a chance to view the origins and get a deeper dive in many more characters throughout the series. Based on what I've heard of the Six of Crows spin-off, it sounds like there is an episode dedicated to each member of the Crows. And so I would hope that would mean that we can delve into their origins and learn more of how they came to be where they were when we met them in the series. For example, how did Matthias get involved with the Driscolla? How did Cass first learn of Inej's skills that made her a good investment? Why exactly was it so easy for Nina to leave Ravka? What stories would be told of this long-standing working relationship between Cass and Jesper? And I hear there's a lot more to Wyland's backstory in the books than has been revealed in the series, which was hinted at when he began to talk about a tutor. By having the spin-off to delve further into the Crows, we can then use Season 3 to look into some of the characters on Ravka's side. Perhaps more of Nikolai or even Zoya. There's still a lot we don't know about Zoya, and she's been in both seasons. And like I said in my previous video, I would also like to know more about Tamar and Tolia, some of the hardships they faced. Would we see them there with Alina and them all facing prejudice for having Ravkan blood? I don't know, it's something I would like to see explored in future seasons. Reason number 3, can finally get Matthias out of that gosh darn prison and let all the crows be together. It is called Six of Crows for a reason. Hashtag free Matthias. I just want to see them all together doing heists, and it would give us more time to see them together. Not that I'm hinting that their time is limited. I just really enjoy these found family interactions, and we get a lot of that with the Crows. And I think Matthias would add such a new dynamic to them. We've already gotten to see first the 3, Kaz, Jesper, and Inej in Season 1, and then adding Nina and Wyland, how much that affected their dynamic, to then throw on Matthias on top of that. I think it would be crazy and so much fun. He has such a problem with Nina, like I can't imagine what he would think of Kaz and the others, and I think he'll have a hard time with them, and I think it'll be really fun. I'm sure book readers already have an idea of what their relationship would be, but I would really love to see it on screen. And especially to see it like form within the spin-off, and then should they still have a part in Season 3, to have it already established, and then maybe they understand each other by then and they can do things really quickly and effectively. I don't know. I just think it would be really cool to see it grow within both the spin-off and a Season 3. And poor Callahan Skalkan's grandma, she should be a reason alone to have the spin-off so that she can see her grandson free in the show. Reason number 4. I'm pretty curious to see how Mal will perform as Sturmhond. Currently, he's on the ship with Mar, Tolia, Nadia, Inej. I would like to see him grow and expand, finally learn how to live for himself, and to come into his own again. He found a place as a tracker, but it was all inevitably for Alina, and now he's trying to find something for himself. And I would like to see that, which is also something that could potentially make its way into the Six of Crows spinoff because Inej is with them. So I wonder, should they have the spinoff, would they just kind of drop Inej off and then she can go do her thing with the crows, or would the crew that she's currently with have a more active role? And then further it along in season 3, would she end up going back with them at the end and then they're there in season 3, or would she stay with them and then they go off and do their own thing? I don't know. Just now that Mal has taken on the moniker of Sturmhond, could he have his adventures? I'm not sure, but I've heard a lot was skipped from the other books of the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I don't know if Sturmhond played more of a role in there, but maybe some of these adventures, whether talked about or did happen, would this then be Mal? Or maybe he'll just have his own news story. I think I've also heard that Sturmhond made an appearance, maybe in Crooked Kingdom, one of the Crows books. So I wonder, would he still make an appearance, but is it Mal instead of Nikolai? Or would Nikolai actually be in the Six of Crows spinoff? Or would that occur in the Shadow and Bone season 3? They definitely made sure to keep him around, so I'm curious to see where he will go. He's done so much for Alina. He deserves to have something for himself. But speaking of Alina, I think she's on her dark arc now. At the end, with her using the shadow, can you even still call her a sun summoner? Does she still have sun summoning abilities? I'm not too sure. If Alina is really on a dark arc, could she lead Ravka into fighting and being more brutal than their enemy? Maybe they're the ones invading and attacking. Would she be the next villain? I don't think it would come to that. I feel like with the influence of Zoya and Genya helping her, they can help guide her onto the right path. But I would be interested in this story. I don't think I want to see a full villain Alina arc, but just to see her fighting this darkness could be interesting. But there's definitely more to come from her. I feel like her story continuing is more of a Shadow and Bone season 3, but we could at least hear about it in a Six of Crows spinoff. Maybe as they're coming back from whatever this big heist is, they'll hear about something happening in Ravka, some dark calamity. I don't know. Not the fold, of course. I don't know. Something crazy. Not only do we have a dark Alina, but Nikolai has these demons within him too. This Nichevoya. He'll be fighting to protect Ravka and his people, not only from all these enemies that now have easier access to Ravka, but also from the darkness within himself. And I wonder, for both Alina and Nikolai, now that they have these dark influences, I feel like they both present opportunities to have Kirigan in the series, even if he's not alive, but just as some sort of influence for either of them. Probably more likely Alina because of the bond that they had, even though it's broken. She used his move, his shadow version of the cut. So I feel like we haven't seen the last of General Alexander Kirigan. Even if he's not really alive, he can still make an appearance. I hope so anyway. And again, if Nikolai and Alina are dealing with these dark forces, I do think that is more of a season 3 thing, but maybe it can be talked about in Six of Crows. I do wonder though, because of the Fjerdan attack at the coronation, would they be involved in the Ice Court heist as well? Maybe not necessarily the heist, but maybe they're gonna go attack Fjerdan while the crows are there, and then they can also be in the Six of Crows spinoff. That would be different. I don't know if people would like that. I'm not sure if that last scene is in the book, so I'm not sure how it relates or what could spur from that, but I don't think they're gonna appreciate this attack. There's just so much potential they could do with this, and it would give them much more opportunity to have the spin-off and season 3. Potentially more seasons, but you know, at least a season 3. I've heard that the show has deviated from the books quite a bit, but I've trust in the producers and the writers and the staff and the cast that it would create a new experience for both book readers and show viewers alike that we can all enjoy together, or cry about together, whatever comes. We can all experience it together. I also wonder though, could they take it beyond the books? Could season 3 or spin-off expand and use ideas that maybe Leigh Bardugo hasn't even written or published yet, but that she's been thinking of? By having both a spin-off and a season 3, we can just really see more potential from everybody, from the fan favorites in the Crows to the fan favorites in the Shadow and Bone series. Have even more surprise interactions, in either one. Maybe there are some characters that are introduced in the Six of Crows books that can then make an appearance in season 3. The possibilities are just endless, and with the way that the writers have proven themselves of surprising even the book readers, there are just so many things that they could do. Something I briefly mentioned before, but I want to expand on for my 7th reason is I really want to see more of Zoya, more of her development. We got a lot of her loyalty to Ravka and fighting for Ravka. And similar to Mal, I want to see her find something that she'll fight for besides Ravka. She's always been very duty bound, and it sounds like she will find something or someone that she cares for, potentially more than Ravka, but also very much related to Ravka. But I would love to see her grow and develop. She's a very interesting character, and I have always found her to be likable, whether she was teasing Alina or saving Alina, and I would like to see her developed more. My final reason is for the cast. The cast is so sweet. They seem to really care about each other. It could just be for the cameras, but they seem to have really considered each other family when they're spending all their time together in Budapest. And they sound like they would be all for it. But not just the cast, but everybody. The staff, Lee Bardugo, all the fans. So many people have wanted it. I had so much fun watching all the interviews and behind the scenes and quizzes and everything that they did. And I would like more of it. They promote Spinoff and then promote season 3. It's just more chances to see them all having fun together. And really, isn't that what life is all about? Having fun together. Because when they have fun together, then we, the people, the fans of the show, can have fun too. And that's what really matters, isn't it? Entertainment, enjoyment, love. I think there's been a lot lately talk of how much the fans are trying to save the show. I can't imagine Netflix ignoring all that. It's not impossible. So I think we need to keep trying. And I just hope that Netflix will acknowledge it, and they're just waiting for the right moment to announce both at the same time in a big move, and everybody can be happy together. I think it's important to stay positive. That was my 8 reasons. Why did I choose 8? Mostly because I just wanted to, but if you want a made up answer, you can say if you turn it on its side, it's like an infinity symbol, and we will stay together with the series for an infinite amount of time. Plus, we will keep that show on loop, watching it over and over, streaming it nonstop until we get those announcements. Let me know in the comments what are your reasons for needing more of this series, and what you're most looking forward to for either the Six of Crows spin-off, Shadow and Bone Season 3, or both. If you made it this far and liked this video, please consider hitting the thumbs up, and if you want to hear me raving more about shows, movies, or games, click that subscribe button and the bell to get all alerts. Hope to see you guys in my next video.